All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna check out its local search and its city search, see if either of them got BSS. And we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star weapon of choice is f/6 full spectrum intent capture. More info on that, pin video, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because f/6 explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our f/6 graph actually in white here. Highest intent people on the left, these people using social search, Google search, they're searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. Focused on talking about these peeps. When we're talking about BSS videos here. Way over on the right, these are the lowest intent peeps. They ain't searching for boudoir, and they basically have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. Talk about that on our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And right now we're only working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. Now, boudoir search sameness BSS is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots is bad because that means 0 slots page 1 means we're on page 2 or deeper, and we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So we're invisible to approximately 80% of the market. And this is a recipe for our business to be dying super fast. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, that ain't good either. It's not good enough because, there's 10 organic slots page 1 on Google. We got 1 slot that says there's 9 other boudoir photographers. Everyone's got 1 slot. Everyone looks the same. Nobody's standing out. So what's a buyer doing? They're clicking down everyone's website, opening up everyone's, contact form, filling out every contact form, getting a quote from everyone, getting, price shopping and the best deal for them, wasting everyone's time, blah, 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 blah. So we never want to have BSS boudoir search sameness. In both scenarios, yeah, we'll get contact forms if we got 1 slot, but like most of those people ain't going with us. It's only a 10% chance to go with us. So, just kind of real frustrating. That leads to the business dying as well. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 Google search is actually not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are A, market saturation. Basically everyone knows what that is. Simply more boudoir photographers entering the market over time. And when that happens, people getting new iPhones or new cameras, they enter the marketplace. They're throwing up their Google Maps profile saying they do boudoir photography. They're throwing up their website saying they're now a boudoir photographer. They're posting them on mom groups on Facebook saying they do boudoir photo shoots. And that's more sellers for the same number of buyers. Makes it harder and harder for every seller to make a sale and kind of get those clients. Also happened in a big way with COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, forced a lot of people, they still need to earn money. They still got to go get money. And so everyone's got a super powered smartphone with ultra cameras. So easiest thing for them to do, become boudoir photographers. Now, the false face belief of page 1 inequality, that one's new. And as a result, we actually, this is where boudoir photographers actually originally believed that, kind of just automatically believe without even questioning, kind of that every boudoir photographer gets either 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google. But that's how, let's say they're on page 1 slot 9 with their website. Some market saturation, now they're on page 2 slot 3, and they're kind of like, well, that's simply how it happens. And hopefully those peeps that are now ranking me, delete their website and Google de-indexes them. So maybe Google will pull me back up on page 1. But no, this is a 100% incorrect thought. This is the, let it happen to me thought. We actually want to be, let's make it happen thought, which is what I did. I actually went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days with this new methodology we invented. And, proving that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, because we actually learned Google will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. Now, boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So again, BSS, boudoir search sameness, 0-1 slots, page 1 Google search. And if we got 0 slots, then we are, basically we're disappearing, we're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. If we got 1 slot on page 1, we're still basically invisible. There's only really only a 10% chance someone's going to convert on us compared to everyone else. So both disappearing boudoir photographers make us disappearing boudoir photographers. And it's kind of like the warning light, the flashing flag, the whatever, the canary in the coal mine, that our boudoir photography business is now on the path to disappearing as well. But thankfully, we now have we've discovered the solution to this S-cubed methodology. We've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And I mean, it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. So we show up there. And what that acts as is basically like the snow up at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America, snow on the eastern side, the backside of those Andes Mountains. And what happens is, that snow melts over time. The water flows into small streams, small rivers. But eventually all that melted snow collects down into the Amazon River. And that's page one Google search, the Amazon River. So basically everything, all this social search saturation stuff we do actually then flows onto page one of Google search if we execute our SQ methodology correctly. And what's interesting about this, it's the only solution for boudoir photographers I've seen that actually allows them to increase the, actually gives them a chance to still grow the business in the face of massive market saturation and gives them that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. The other solution I've seen that gives that same benefit is having a large, well-known brand, but we all know that takes like 5 to 10 years to build. And so that doesn't satisfy our relatively quick criteria. We need the relatively quick criteria because, dude, AI's here. AI is taking people's jobs. We don't have 5 to 10 years to build a brand. Ultra market saturation is coming for boudoir photographers. We gotta basically fortify ourselves before that happens. And an example here, actually 2 other things. First interesting thing is SQ methodology. It's just the way it works, allowing us to show up with such a high frequency on so many different surfaces. My estimate is it actually enables a large, well-known brand to be built 8x faster than normal conventional methods. So it's kind of like utilize SQ methodology for initial wins, get a brand in the future, and then imagine if you get a large, well-known brand and you continue to use SQ methodology in the future. I mean, you're basically going to be unbeatable. Now, one example here, we're going to say we are in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis-St. Paul, Minnesota, and the Twin Cities. And there's 1 million boudoir photographers there. And with those 1 million boudoir photographers, we are one of them. Everyone's got a boudoir photography website, trying to rank page 1 on Google. Ultra competition. And as a result, we're like, well, we ain't got no large brand. And we ain't got time to create a brand. So our only shot here to compete is utilizing SQ methodology. And so, dude, let's say we super crank this SQ methodology, and we take the first 300 slots, page 1 on Google search, or first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords across social search. And then those flow onto, let's say allows us to take up the first 300 slots, page 1 on Google search. And it's 10 organic slots per page on Google. So we're taking out the first 30 pages. So guess what? Anyone in our city is actually, is actually searching anywhere, social search or Google search for boudoir photo shoot, boudoir photographer, whatever, the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, we're basically the only one they're going to be finding, even though our market's ultra saturated. And so whose business is going to be growing during this time? Most likely ours. And whose business is going to be declining and like dying? Most likely the 999,999 other boudoir photographers in the city. And so, this is kind of a interesting example of what SQ methodology could enable, kind of at the ultra extreme end. But hey, finally, we got a shot here. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page 1 visibility. And initial benefit, yeah, more slots, page 1 Google search. That's cool. The other initial benefit, every new slot we get page 1 Google search, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. A lot of boudoir photographers love this one. Basically, you can push the competitors to page 2 and deeper, and effectively making them visible to approximately 80% of searches, invisible to approximately 80% of the market, which, I mean, this is an awesome initial benefit. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. And this is where the GBC universe recommends hitting the 3 out of 10 minimum, 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google search minimum. Because basically everyone else can have 1 slot. If we got 3, we're dominating them. And the ultra range, someone has 2 slots on page 1. Well, we're going to have 3. We're still dominating them. So 3 out of 10, and that 3 out of 10 minimum is really the best for all scenarios. Obviously, it's the best to get even higher, but 3 out of 10 is kind of the minimum where we want to get to. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. This is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. People thought they simply had to accept having 0 and 1 slots page one on Google. 100% incorrect. We now know that. We developed a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results now utilizing S-cubed methodology. For myself, I wanted to take over page one on Google for this search term, BLCS boudoir. So I utilize S-cubed methodology to see my results. And let's see, so we got Instagram, organic slot 1, me. Organic slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I searching for this, who they going with, who they clicking on, obviously me. I went from 0 to 10 slots, page 1 Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search, in only 10 days. So these are my results I got utilizing S-cubed methodology. Now, onto the main event here. We got our Boudoir photography business. Going to check on them and their local search, their city search, page one on Google. Well, we want to see. And actually, I gotta bring these over. So we're going to Carefree, AZ. Yeah, I do remember looking at that. Northeast Phoenix and then Phoenix, Arizona. All right, let's go over here. Boom. All right. Let's see what we got. Boom, we got one. Oh, Scottsdale. Okay, I think that's a part of Phoenix. So, boom, got one. Boom, we got two. Perfect. I don't believe that's her. Okay, boom, we got three. Boom, we got four. Boom, we got five. Boom, we got six. Awesome, dudes. 6 out of 10. So we overcome. We do not have BSS, and we have achieved the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see with photography businesses doing. So for the best chance for themselves. And now, oh, we gotta go to Phoenix actually. Phoenix. All right, so city's always harder to rank for because there's more peeps competing, more keyword momentum. All right, we got one. All right, so we do got BSS for, all right, so we got, we do not have BSS, and we did hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for the local search, and we do not, we got BSS for the city search, which city is always harder. Right? There's way more overlapping people trying to rank there. And we did not hit the recommended GBC minimum of 3 on the city search, which is actually normal. I don't know if, unless it's a small city or kind of a small town, I don't know if I've seen anyone hit that yet, or maybe like 1 or 2. Very difficult though. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've actually done your local searches, your city searches for the highest attempt boudoir buyer keywords for your area, and you either got 0, 1 slots, for at least one of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search, and you've accepted that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. And so you do see that, oh, we actually can take as many page 1 slots on Google as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you're seeing S-key methodology is the only way forward. Best solution for you. That's an only solution for you. And you've been waiting for something like this. You like the initial benefits, more slots, page 1 Google. You really like the more slots actually kicks competitors off as well. Makes them invisible, puts them on page 2 to 10, makes them invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace, the bulk of the market. And as a result, you're also looking ahead. You understand the market saturation. Yeah, peeps get new gear, they upgrade their gear, they become boudoir photographers, blah, blah, blah. But you're also seeing AI is taking people's jobs right now already. AI is going to get better and better, which means it's going to take more and more people's jobs into the future. So like, exactly like COVID, a lot of people lost their jobs. Everyone's got a super smartphone with ultra camera. Very easy for anyone to become boudoir photographer. You're like, way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the marketplace now. And so you're looking ahead, you're like, man, I don't need only these links on on Google search. I actually need to fortify my position. Page one Google search literally has so many links on page one that Google wants to rank them on page one, but there's not enough space, and they got to go literally like push them onto page 2, 3, or 4. And so you want that fortification, that kind of overflowing of links, to essentially prevent any current boudoir photographer from basically ever ranking on page one Google search again, and also any future boudoir photographer that comes from AI taking their job from ever hopping on, ever be able to rank page one Google search ever again. So you're liking that future benefit, fortification. You want to achieve page one visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And as a result, you are also thinking about and understanding that execute and SQ methodology every single day is, we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of plugging into your business name, brand name, social handles, website name, your name, out there on the internet, kind of cyberspace, invisibly. And as we build these up, we're building up this like back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum, which contributes to showing up here in AI overview. So every day we kind of execute methodology, we're increasing the probability AI overview displays us, which is the most premium slot here. It's the first slot, cannot pay for it, it's organic only. We're also increasing the probability that AI search apps recommend us as well. And when that happens, we're higher chance of being recommended ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Google or Microsoft Copilot. And AI search getting bigger and bigger every single day, more and more people using it every single day. So it's becoming more and more important. So it's kind of like a back-end future benefit. Well, we're kind of going to be going for page one Google search first, because that's still the king. But AI is growing every single day, so it's a back-end kind of parallel benefit of doing SQ methodology. And last time I searched for boudoir photographers with an AI search app. I used ChatGPT, looked for someone in a city. ChatGPT recommended me 3. I then did the standard Google search and like Facebook search, and dude, I found like 60. So it's like, man, we need to find any way possible to get recommended here. Again, SQ methodology is the only solution that enables this in a relatively quick way, or relatively quick increase in probability. And so you're liking those feature benefits. You also like the estimated, 8x speed up of creating a large, well-known brand compared to traditional methods. It's because has much more volume on many different surfaces. You also understand my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you've decided to be first mover. So you can actually get all these benefits and, more importantly, prevent your competitors from getting these benefits and keep them, page 2 or deeper, which is the goal. Keep them invisible and disappearing, keep their business disappearing. And when you actually, you're thinking, conversely, when you're with the photographer competitors in your city sign out with me first, they'd actually be getting all the links. You would actually be relegated to page 2 or deeper. We'd have so many links, we would make sure to do our best efforts so you could never rank page 1 again. We'd be building up their backend AI mindshare, keyword mindshare for their brand, for them to be recommended AI overview, AI search. And we'd be building up such a big gap that in order for you to compete, you'd actually have to rederive SQ methodology on your own. And when you do that, you would then also need to, then execute it every single day, same as us. But even if you did all those things, the gap would still remain the same size. Because we'd be executing every day as well. So you'd actually have to double or triple our output. And when you do that, you'd have to, you wouldn't even be 100% confident to put in the time to double or triple our output, because still you wouldn't even know if you've derived the methodology of the technology correctly in the first place. And think about all the stuff you're realizing, screw that. You don't want to miss this opportunity. You ain't got 80 hours in a day to do all this stuff. So you're deciding, screw that. And you're deciding to hop on first, be the first mover in your city, block out all your competitors. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake. But when the hospital opens for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.